Hi, I'm Jeff Murrah. Welcome to True Texas History, where today we're going to be talking about General Thomas J Rusk. Now, Thomas Rusk, he did a lot more for Texas than many people realized, and his is a name that we should remember, but many times we've forgotten. In fact, it's awfully ironic that he was such a large figure in terms of Texas that in 1856 there were some people that were mentioning the possibility of Thomas J. Rusk running for president of the United States and being one of the candidates. So that gives you some idea of the influence he had. But the part of his life I want to go ahead and talk about today is during his tenure as the Brigadier General of the Texas Army. And he did some things for the troops that I think are admirable, that are worth mentioning and worth remembering. One was that there at San Jacinto, after the defeating the Mexican army, there was a large cache of Mexican silver dollars. Actually, it was a lot of silver coinage that Santa Anna's army had taken from the mint located at Zacatecas. And we talked about Zacatecas the other day. But he saw to it that, the money was divided. The men there at the battlefield, they received a bonus. Some of the money was set aside for the Texas Navy. And he took care of the men there. Now, part of the reason I want to go ahead and talk about Rusk is that on this day, June 3rd, 1836, while still general, he saw to it that the remains of all the bodies of those that fought at the Alamo were given proper military burial and respect they needed. Now, he later did that for the bodies of the soldiers at Goliad as well. And I think that says a lot for one of the founding fathers of Texas, who respected the military enough to go ahead and take those actions while he served in office. Because he was only in office as general with the Army for just a few months, not a very long time. Now, he also wrote a report on the Battle of San Jacinto, and I want to read that to you, because many times the writings and the speeches of these men really say a lot, and it would be good if we remembered it. This one says, "This glorious achievement is attributed not to superior force, but the valor of our soldiers and the sanctity of our cause. Our army consisted of 750 effective men. This brave band achieved a victory as glorious as any on the records of history, and the happy consequences will be felt in Texas by succeeding generations. He saved the country from a yoke of bondage. It has saved the country from a yoke of bondage, and all who participated in it are entitled to special munificence of government and the heartfelt gratitude of every lover of liberty. The sun was sinking in the horizon as the battle commenced, but at the close of the conflict, the sun of liberty and independence rose in Texas, never to be obscured by the clouds of despotism. We have read deeds of chivalry and pursued with ardor the annals of war. We have contemplated with the highest emotions of sublimity the loud roaring thunder and the desolating tornado and the withering Simon of the desert. But neither of these nor all these inspired us with emotions like those felt on this occasion. The officers and the men were actuated by a like enthusiasm. A general cry pervaded the ranks, and the cry was, 'Remember the Alamo! Remember La Bahia!' And these words electrified all. Onward was the cry. The unerring aim and the irresistible energy of the Texas Army could not be withstood. It was free men fighting against the minions of tyranny, and the result proved the inequality of the contest. Not only did men like Thomas Rusk speak with eloquence, in his words there is the respect for the common soldier, the respect for the men and the sacrifice that they made. Boy, wouldn't it say a lot if some of our political leaders now showed that kind of respect for those who have sacrificed so much to gain liberty. And so for that reason, I see Thomas J. Rusk as an admirable figure, one we need to remember. And I wanted to go ahead and recall some of the things that he did, because the actions in giving those men the proper burial, that was an important thing. I mean, we could build monuments to them later, but at least go ahead and take care of that. And he was someone who did admire and respected the work of those who served under him. If you have, perhaps in a future podcast, I'll go ahead and talk about some of the other accomplishments of Thomas J. Rusk, because there were quite a few. And what he did is, I don't know why, it just kind of lost to history, but we need to remember it and remember his words. But I hope that you enjoyed this today. If you have any questions, concerns, want me to follow up on some things, feel free to leave your comments below. I'll be glad to get to them. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, vaya con Dios, my friends. Goodbye.